Okay, so let's try a pulley problem, or two boxes connected with a rope. So it's going to be, we're going to work with tension, but we don't have any surface. So we're just going to have, the two of these. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you want to find the net force for A, and you want to find the net force for B before you even get started. So I'm going to work on the net force for A first. So we know that F net is equal to the mass of block A plus the acceleration. And what's going on with this A block? We've got the force of gravity for the A block, and that's minus the tension force because they're going in the opposite direction, right? Because that tension force is pulling that block up, where that gravity force is pulling that block down. Okay, and the reason it's pulling that block up is block B is bigger than block A, because we know the mass of block B is 80 kilograms. Okay, so now let's see what we've got going on here. Let's do box B. And we have same net force, right? F net always equals MA. And then in this case, we've got the tension force, which is going in the opposite direction of the gravity force, because the gravity force is pulling that block down, okay? And the tension force is pulling that block up, okay? So that's for the two. Now, in part A, it says use counterclockwise as the positive direction, calculate the acceleration of the system, okay? So let's see what we got. The first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to do the same thing we did last time, and we'll need to solve for tension. So in this case, I feel like it's a little easier to do this one because it's less algebra. Okay. And so now I've solved for tension, and I can put tension in the other formula, just like we did before. Well, you guys haven't seen that one, but I just worked out a problem where we did basically the same thing. So we'll do MAA equals FGA minus, and this minus is going to be important because this minus is basically going to... you'll see, it'll like distribute between both. Okay, do you see how that minus is going to go to the MBA and the FGB? So let's go ahead and put that in there. So we'll have okay, do you see how I did that? Now I want to get the accelerations on the same side. So then I'll have A is times MA plus MB. And that's just because these are, I just use, I think it's distributive property where you pull these out. Okay. So now I'm going to divide by MA plus MB. So we have A is equal to all that stuff. Okay, so now we can go ahead and we can plug our numbers in. So, for A, I'm going to have 50 times 9.8. And for B, I'll have 80 times 9.8. And I'm going to put these brackets around here so I know that I want to do those separately. And then I'll just have 80 plus 50. Okay, so I ended up getting 490 minus 784. And then 130 on the bottom, which gave me negative 294 over 130, which gave me a negative 2.26 meters squared. Okay, so let's look at our problem and let's make sure that makes sense. So they're saying that going that way is the positive direction, right? Counterclockwise. Okay, so what's going on here? This block is much heavier, right? So we're going to, our velocity is going to be that way. So that means block A is going to be accelerating in that direction. The acceleration is going to be going in the opposite direction, the clockwise motion. So if counterclockwise is negative or positive, then clockwise is going to be negative, which makes sense, right? So I just wanted to show you that our answer made sense. Now, let's do part B. And part B is going to be easier than part A. Part B says, what is the tension on the rope between the two blocks? So since right here we've already solved for tension, we can just use that to find the tension force because it's the same for both blocks. It doesn't matter which one we use. So I'm going to do 80 times, I'm going to use that negative 2.26 plus 80 times 9.8. Okay? So 80 times negative 2.26 is negative 1.80.92. And I've actually already solved 80 times 9.8. You see right here? So that's 784. And I'll take the difference between these two, and it's 603 newtons. If you wanted to use the box A formula to solve part B, you totally could, and you'd get the exact same answer. In fact, in the key, they actually use box A, but I think box B is a little easier. So it's up to you. On this test, you'll get points for solving for the two formulas for box A and B. You'll get points for doing part A and showing your work, and your answer with correct units and the correct sign, remember, because your answer is negative. And then for part B, you'll get credit for showing your work and also getting the correct